me this the first time I spoke to him about it, and he says, "Here we like to give, give, give until it hurts." And the reason that stuck out to me is because it reminded me of the saints. And the saints always say, you give of yourself, and then you give of yourself more, and then you give of yourself until there's nothing left to give, and then you give more. And you will find that your ability to give, that charitable spirit inside of you, is inexhaustible. It may feel like it's finite, but it's not. If you continue working at it, you will find that it is an endless wellspring. And if you continue through it, you will find that the rewards are also tenfold, if not immeasurable. So some quick stats, though, that would be we've now had 67 sessions. I think it was higher than that, actually. I think that number's been going. I don't think that number's accurate. We've had 102 guest speakers. We've had 304 members land jobs through AHF, and we have 2,700 plus members on LinkedIn, and that is counting. It is ever on the rise, which is good. The AHF dashboard, the LinkedIn group members are currently standing at 2,722. The LinkedIn company followers, that's 1,125. YouTube subscribers, we're sitting at 168. Instagram, 91. 25 X followers, 40 friends on Facebook, and TikTok is still sitting at 1. That is something we've got to work on. We will. I have to put my part in there too. I don't understand TikTok at all, and I really need to, because it is a good platform, whether I want to admit it or not. When I think of TikTok, I think of, I just think of people dancing and content creators. But there's a lot of platforming there where you can actually do great networking and spreading of good content. So I need to check it out and spend a little more time refining that. With that said, I want to introduce Amy. I spoke with her yesterday, and she is a visionary. She is a very bright woman. She has incredible insights in this job market, particularly when it comes to finding work. And I want to give her the floor so she has enough time to get through the platform that she wishes to advertise to us and walk us through, but also for her to be able to take some questions from you all, because she is an insightful woman and a lovely human being. And so with that said, and without further ado, you have the floor.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Adam. So I'm Amy Taros, and I'm the founder of a job search platform called Zen Search. It's at zensearch.jobs. And you may be asking yourself, like, well, why do I need another platform? I'm already on LinkedIn and Indeed. Well, Zen Search is different in many ways. Number one is we actually listen to what you are looking for and only show you jobs that match. That shouldn't be a differentiator, but if you've used LinkedIn, I'm sure you all have, you know that that is true. So I'm going to be demoing in a couple of minutes. You'll be able to see for yourself, but there are a lot of different preference settings that you can choose, from very broad to very detailed. And whatever you choose, that's what you're going to see. So, we don't show you things that are sort of a match or kind of a match. It's exactly what you're looking for. Another thing that sets us apart is that we are directly connected to the job boards on the company's websites. So if you go to apply for a job at whatever company you're interested in, you are applying on their job board. And that's important because LinkedIn has stuff in there now that they offer as a benefit to the companies that advertise with them, that they'll pre-screen. So your application may or may not get to them if you're applying on LinkedIn. With Zen Search, it's going directly to the hiring team because you're applying on their site. A lot of times people ask us where we get our jobs from. We have, at this moment, as of this morning, we have over 330,000 jobs from over 12,000 companies, and we get them directly from the companies. In a nutshell, how it works is we can integrate with certain ATSs. And if I know a company is using that ATS, then I can add them to our database. And once they're added, then we ingest jobs a few times throughout the day, so they're very up to date. And so if a company has added a job since the last time we've ingested, then it will be there. If they've taken away, closed a job, then it will be gone. So there aren't jobs that are closed hanging around too often. Every once in a while you get caught in that weird in between state, but usually not. And yeah, so there's a lot of jobs, and it's very easy to filter to new ones. We display the date that the jobs were posted, and you can just filter to whatever it is that you're looking for. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and share. Hopefully it will be able to work correctly. I have two, and I'm hoping I pick the right one, but we'll see. Okay. You guys see my
Yep.
screen? Because I can't see me seeing my screen.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's one of the issues, I guess, with Teams is that I can't see you guys anymore. So anyways, this is ZenSearch. Once you've logged in, this is the default jobs page. These are just whatever jobs happen to have been posted recently. They're not in any particular order at this point, but what you can do is you can go in and select, as I said, whatever preferences it is that you're looking for. So let's just say that you're a data person and you want to see all the different data jobs. You would select that. We have some categories obviously defined. You can choose as many as you want or none, actually, if you wanted to, and you could just type in a job title. So we have jobs that are in all industries, all levels, all kinds of jobs. So we've just categorized some of the most common ones. But for example, if you were looking for a teaching job or a behavioral therapist job, we have those too. And all you have to do is type in the job title that you're looking for. But most people, I think, use the fields to choose. So again, like let's say that you are picking a data analyst job, or you know what, well, we'll see. I didn't do this before, so I don't know what results I'm going to get. It's more fun that way. So then you can select job titles or not. If you don't select job titles, it will just show you everything. You can select how much experience you want. And then the work environment, if you only want remote or if you want hybrid or only on site. And if you choose either of those, then obviously you'd want to choose a location, and you can choose multiple states, the cities are more like geo areas. So it's you know, kind of a larger than just the city. And then you can also choose what kind of work you're looking for. And again, you can choose as many of these as you want and a salary. So I'm just going to hit show results so that we can see what there is. And I'll come back to some of these other filters too. So now you can see the matches for what we put in, and then you can also choose, like let's say I come in here every day and I only want to see things that were posted in the last 24 hours or 48 hours. You can do that very easily. And you can clearly see the date that all these jobs were posted. If you wanted to, you could save a job. You can exclude a job if for some reason you don't want to see it anymore. You can click on a job to get more details. I'm going to have to switch to that tab when I do it, but I'll do that. So you can see more information about the job. You can see the complete job description, some other information about the company, similar companies that maybe you've never heard of that you want to look into. And again, you can either, you know, apply or save it or do whatever it is you want to do. right, I'm going to go back to this one for now. So again, to show you a few more details in the preferences, you can choose either, and of course, this is all optional, companies that you want to see and companies that you don't want to see, and industries that you want to see and industries that you don't want to see. So for example, if you were, let's say, I know most of us on this call are not, but if you were looking passively and you wanted to put together like a target list that you only wanted to be notified if those companies had a job, all you have to do is select the companies that you're interested in. So let's say it was Airbnb, and I don't know what these other ones are, but I'll just pick a few. And then you would select only show. And that what that will do is only show you jobs from those companies. Obviously, that's excluding a lot of jobs. Use carefully, but if you are having that kind of a search, that is a way you can do that. So I'm going to close these for now. But if there is a company, you know, likewise that you don't want to work at, maybe it's a company that you used to work at, or a company that you've been rejected at and you don't want to see any more jobs from them, that works the same way. So in the same way, you could just select that to exclude, and now all jobs from that company will be excluded from your results. And the same for industry. You can choose industries that you want, and you can choose industries you don't want. So if, you know, for example, you have experience with agriculture and say healthcare, you could choose those. And then you could, again, only show jobs that were in those industries. Or if you don't want to do that, maybe you're like me and you want to say, you know, insurance, hell no, you know. So you can do that too. So these are all options for you to get closer to what you're looking for. And the same thing with keywords. This is meant for either skills that are mentioned within the body of the job description. So like, for example, if you know Python or SQL and you want to put those in and only see jobs where those are present, or if you don't know something and you want to put that in as to exclude jobs that require that, you can do that. And you can also put in literally any word. So I had someone who was using Zen Search who was a product manager, and he was only looking for jobs in healthcare industry, but he didn't want to be on the money side. He wanted to be on the patient side. So he put in the word patient. So like we have pre set terms for you to search for, but you can literally put in any word that you want to and have it search for that if you want to do that. And then in his case, he did do only show, and then it would only show jobs that had the word patient in them. So that's the preferences. And then so when you apply, let's say that I wanted to apply to this job. So it's going to take me to the company site. I won't take you over to the company site, but let's just pretend that I applied. So now when I come back here, it's going to ask me if I applied. So if I say yes, then it will remove the job from the list and it will put it onto the tracker. So the tracker is new. And so here's the job that I just applied to. And what you can do, it lets you track the jobs that you've applied to. So if I'm lucky enough that I get an interview with AR Wallachs, then I can move them to the interviewing. If unfortunately I get ghosted, I can move it to the ghosted, and you can move them between, you know, whichever ones you want, however you want to move them. And because I want this to eventually become like a hub for you to track all of your jobs, I know that you're using other tools, so you also can add a job manually. So if you applied to a job on another site, you can type in the information as much or as little as you want. The only things that are required are the company and job title. And then you can just add the job manually, and that will show here also, and you'll be able to move it from status to status as much as you want. And you can also put in some notes. So if you know someone and you reached out to someone, you can put that in here. You can have as many notes as you want to have. And so that, in a nutshell, is Zen Search. So I'm gonna I'll keep sharing, but I'm gonna come back to where I can see you all. And I guess if anyone has any questions or any wants any more detail about how to search, for their specific thing, I'm happy to answer any of those kinds of questions, or really any questions. I don't know how qualified I am for all questions, but happy to answer any. And I just want to say that as being the founder and owner of the job platform, another thing that is different from LinkedIn or Indeed is me. And so, if people have questions or feedback, I'm always looking for ideas and suggestions on how to make it a better tool for you. It's not a tool for me anymore, it's a tool for other people. So a lot of the suggestions that I've gotten from users, I'm working toward. So, in addition to the tracker, my next step is a way to kind of manage your networking. So, of course, on LinkedIn, you can connect with people, but you can't even write down where you met them, or like what you said when you talked to them, or what you said you were going to do after you talked to them. So that's something that was suggested by a user that is next on my list of things to work on.
Excellent. Well, yes, thank you for that. That was a wonderful presentation. That was packed with a lot of useful information too.
Absolutely.
Um, I would now like to open the floor for people who have any questions. I'll bring up my presentation here real quick, but I'll leave that up for a second. If you guys could keep your questions concise, brief, and to one, I want everybody to get an opportunity to be able to speak to Amy, and